Okay, Assalamu Alaikum and very warm welcome to everyone who is joining us today. I am so happy to have you all here for another inspiring session where we will celebrate education, learning, and global connections. Today, we are traveling virtually to the beautiful land of Azerbaijan to meet a passionate and dedicated educator, Miss Aysel. Aysel has been in the field of education for 17 years, beginning her teaching journey at just 18. She holds a Master's of Arts in Teaching and Learning from ADA University, and for the past 4 years, she has been shaping young minds at ADA School. Her expertise in language teaching and IELTS preparation, combined with her love for continuous learning, and makes her a true role model for teachers everywhere. So, welcome Aysel on our virtual global show. You are on the stage. Please introduce yourself to our audience so they may know you more better. Over to you.
Okay. Yes, first of all, I would like to thank you for giving me opportunity to meet your audience. You have already briefly mentioned everything about me. I have been in the field of education for about 17 years. And in fact, not all of them consist of like school experience. Last 5 years, I've been working as an English language instructor at various schools. But before that, I worked in various language schools, let's say to teach mainly how students to help them with general English language skills.
Okay, your introduction is impressive. I am moving toward my question. Mm,
Okay.
okay. My first question is what inspired you to choose education as your lifelong profession?
Okay. So I will be completely honest by saying that in fact, my path to education hasn't been linear because the first time when I started to teach, it was at the age of 18. I just started language school and there I was doing my best. And one day received a job offer. I thought that I will work as a teacher for just 2 or 3 years to improve my language skills. But honestly, once I started to enter the class and start delivering materials, teaching students, helping them grow, achieving their potential, I just fell in love with the teaching itself. So as years passed, I didn't have any intention of changing my field. And even after certain years of delivering general English language program or IELTS program, I decided to take it even to the next level. After certain years of being just a language tutor, I applied for ADA University to be able to qualify as a teacher, like as a qualified teacher, I would say. And after that, I've started teaching in various schools, right? The main reason why I am in education and I cannot imagine myself in any other profession is that I absolutely love the teaching profession itself. I mean, I absolutely love it when I am helping, guiding my students, facilitating their learning, making sure that they are improving. Once I see this, that they are improving, this kind of feeling that doesn't have any type of definition. It is just something that keeps me moving forward and makes sure I just, as years pass, I just become more and more convinced that I love it. I just love it so much that I would, if I had a chance to come to this world again, I would again choose to be a teacher.
It is very good to know about your feelings and your experience. And now you are become a true teaching soul, and you can. I can say that the purpose of your life become teaching to students and help them, and increase their learning journey and all these things, and you enjoy these things. Very good, very well, impressive answer of this question. I'm moving toward my next question. That is, how do you define an effective teacher in today's world?
Okay, I would say that an effective teacher does consist of several qualities. One of them is to be able to inspire students, because, as you know, since we live in the age of technology, the role of teachers changed a little bit. Because right now we are not simply considered to be knowledge providers. We are the ones who shape personalities, who inspire students, who make simply change in their lives. So, an effective teacher, I believe, is the one who achieves all of this and at the same time nurtures lifelong learners, because teaching, we know that it's a type of process that starts in the classroom, but it never ends in fact. But if you're a type of an effective teacher, that means that you can nurture or foster students who will become lifelong learners, who will continue learning, not in your class, but after they are done with your class. So this is the most effective, I think, that the quality of being a good teacher.
In this way, you can. I want to say that we are not creating the things, but we are developing a legacy for the students, and we are making the leadership for our country, for this world. So my next question is, okay, what do you think makes language learning more successful for students?
Okay, I think that language learning process becomes students when students understand that it is not just a piece of knowledge that they have to pursue. They have to make language learning process a part of their lives. So this comes with changing habits and lifestyles a little bit. For instance, what do I mean with that is that when students start reading books, for instance, it can be as simple as this, right? If you love reading books, when you have to definitely change it to English. Then if you love listening to music, for instance, you have to definitely change it to English. Or if you love doing different types of activities, there can be a lot of activities. Maybe you have a hobby, maybe there is a specific a part that you are very much interested. But once you start making this tiny habits, tiny change to your daily life, and then you can become more successful as a language instructor. But it is all up to the teacher who needs to initiate this change, and then the teacher needs to make sure that the students will definitely continue with that, like, kind of, not, I would say, enforce it, but definitely motivate and inspire students so that they can follow the teacher's lead.
Very good answer. Okay, how do you keep your lessons engaging and interactive for learners of different levels?
Okay, so you know that in today's day and age, it has become really challenging to make sure that lessons are interactive and engaging. And one of the best tools that we can use is technology. But students love playing games, and they simply love when they see the integration of technology into language classes. But at the same time, we have reached a dangerous period, because I would call it dangerous, where the advent of AI has transformed the landscape of education considerably, because students understand that if it is here, why do you have to work harder, let's say. So for this reason, they can be too much motivated to make use of AI. I think that teachers have to make sure that they are using technology, and this is one of the best ways how you can make the lessons more engaging and more interactive. But at the same time, they have to make sure that they can protect the balance, like they can strike a balance between the use of technology and use of technology, not overuse of technology, I would say. So there should be a sin balance. And once teachers have achieved it, I'm sure that they can make their lessons more interactive and more engaging as well. When it comes to my classes, yes, I would say that I do make use of technology. I do make sure that students play different types of games, but it's not always technological gadgets that I prioritize. There can be a piece of paper too. For instance, you can use a piece of paper, you can use markers. There are just, you can use technology, you can use your computers to have access to different types of information. That we live in a globalized world, which means that there are a lot of kind teachers who share their experiences on social media, or they do share games, activities, right? There are a lot of websites which make it possible for teachers to be able to generate ideas, and at the same time have new insights how they can make their lessons more interactive. So for this reason, I think that yes, I thanks to technology, I have access to those insights, ideas, different opportunities. But by making sure that I will be able to protect the balance between using technology and overusing technology, I can sustain the interest of my students.
Okay, I agree with you. Your point of view is very right, and the misuse or the overuse of technology is very bad for the new generation. And we should make the balance in using the technology. And we are the teacher who can teach our students how we can use the technology in a beneficial way, in the constructive way, not in the negative or destructive way. Can you tell me that how you create or how you teach your student then in the era of this technology? The focus is very important thing for teaching or for learning for the students. How they can develop their focus on their educational material. Technology is very bad. It distracts the students and their focus problems are more important. Please give me a suggestion or tell about your point of view on these things.
Okay, I would say that today, as I mentioned at the beginning of my speech, that the role of the teachers have changed considerably because today's teachers are expected to be motivators. Today's teachers are expected to be, someone who provides guidance, someone who listens to the problem, someone who, is empathetic, someone who acts a little bit psychologist to the students as well. Okay, so a good teacher should also possess a good knowledge of educational psychology, I believe, today. So, one of the best ways how we can maintain the focus of the students is to make sure that you remind them from time to time, but you have to make sure that you are not overdoing it, but by reminding them of their goals, of their objectives, of the reasons why they have started this journey can help students a lot to stay on track and can some so this means that once they receive these reminders, I'm sure that more and more students will make a decision simply to be distracted by technology or simply to stay on track. So yes, but a good teacher is also someone who can identify those gaps whenever a student needs, let's say, individual approach, whenever he's ready to talk, to open to you. But whenever you see that the student is distracted, there can be some other reasons to, of course, you should not impose on the student and you have to understand it. So a good teacher is the one who simply has a good eye, not only, let's say, overall well-being of the student, I mean not well-being, physical well-being, but at the same time mental preparedness. So it is really difficult to summarize everything with a couple of sentences, but I would summarize it in a way that a good teacher is the one who understands students' needs and at the same time, based on needs, may or is able to take the right approach so that his or her students will open up to her or him. So for this reason, you have to be friends with your students. There is no other way that you can only impose your role on them. And by being their friends, by sharing their thoughts, by listening to their concerns and problems, so you're making sure that education is going forward, and at the same time you are maximizing learning outcomes, you are achieving what you are trying to teach. In fact, you're achieving your objectives. So these are all very important, I would say. So yes, again, I would like to repeat that the role of the teacher has changed. Today we are not only knowledge providers, today we are motivators, inspirers, today we are therapists, educational therapists a lot. So it all comes down to experience at the same time. But there is something that is very important. If you're passionate, you will be able to do that. If not, I'm not quite sure to what extent you will be successful. For a teacher, it is necessary to have passion so that she or he will be, intrinsically motivated to be able to meet students' needs. Otherwise, it can be really tiring, boring, and I don't know, maybe you can achieve consequences that may not be so desirable.
Okay, very good answer and very long answer for
Yeah.
understanding. I am okay. So, can you share a memorable success story from one of your student?
Okay. Yes, I will say that one. I remember 2 years ago, I had a student. She was struggling with language skills, but she had to take IELTS, and I would say that she was also the type of student who for whom it was difficult to learn languages because she wouldn't consider herself a language student. She knew physics, right? She knew chemistry. She was the type of science, let's say, the students, but she was her inspiration was that she wanted to continue her education abroad, so it was necessary for her to attain IELTS exam. And when we started, she had a lot of prejudice, a lot of misconceptions about language learning process. But slowly we made sure that she made English as a part of her life. That means that she changed the language of books that she would study, and she would change the language of music, she would change the language of films that she would watch. But by integrating English into her life, I think we achieved success in a way that she managed to get 7 overall after 6 months of period, despite the fact that we started with low level of English. Like when she started, she was about elementary or pre-intermediate. But within 6 months, she finalized intermediate and at the same time up intermediate level, let's say B1, B2 levels. And then she attended her exam and she got overall 7, which was enough for her to be able to continue her education abroad. So as I said before, yeah, when you work with a student, it's not you don't only teach grammar, you don't only teach vocabulary, you also make sure that you work on their mindsets, because as mindsets change, you are more likely to get desired results. It means that maximize your learning outcomes, in other words. Yes, this I consider this one of my recent success stories, because we had a lot of difficulties, as it was really difficult to change her entrenched thoughts. But yeah, at the end of 6 months, we both achieved what we had aimed for at the beginning of the journey.
Okay. Mm, okay. In your opinion, what are the most important 21st century skills teachers should develop in students?
I am so sorry. Can you repeat the question?
In your opinion, what are the most important 21st century skills teachers should develop in students?
Yes. Okay. Once I mentioned, I think earlier I mentioned mindset. So you know that there are two types of, Carol Dweck says that there are two types of mindset, right? Growth mindset and fixed mindset. Fixed mindset, if you have fixed mindset, that means that once you fail in any type of activity, you can become completely withdrawn, and you may not have any desire to continue or to try one more time. But if you have growth mindset, it means that you are not afraid of any failure. I think that this is a type of concept that all teachers should teach their students, and it has become a prerequisite of 21st century, because in the 21st century, obviously, our life is quite changeable, and so that means there are a lot of uncertainties. Right now we have AI, we don't know what future might hold, right, for us. So for this reason, it is necessary for teachers to make sure that these students will have growth mindset but not fixed mindset. I'm not saying that this is easy to achieve. It is really hard and challenging, because you are not shaping mindsets, but you are also changing characters, you are affecting beliefs, attitudes. You have to make a lot of effort. Sometimes it takes more effort that one can imagine, but I'm not saying that it's not impossible. It is possible. It definitely, teachers can definitely achieve it, and because having the right approach to anything in life is the beginning of success, I would say. So once students have this growth mindset, it doesn't matter whether it is in the field of education, maybe they will want to continue their life in business sector or in technology or in science. It doesn't matter whichever field they might try, they will not be withdrawn, and they will not end up just after having a couple of failures. They will after each failure, they will stand up, they will summon up their summon courage, they will summon up their strengths and they will simply forge ahead. That means that they will simply continue despite difficulties. So I think that it has become the most important skill. So as language teachers too, you know that this is specifically the case for the language teachers. Once students see these grammar mistakes, let's say that, or cannot make use of vocabulary items properly, once they see this correction from the side of teachers a couple of times, they can easily become demotivated. So, however, once you make sure that your students have growth mindset, which means that they will not be withdrawn because of your comments, they will be motivated to continue more. So I think that definitely a growth mindset is something that is the most important thing that all teachers should aspire to achieve with their students in the 21st century.
Today, I attend a webinar of National Geographic, and the person who is conducting the session, she was saying that she was an English teacher and she was a native speaker of English language. She was saying that the grammar, language structure, correction, these are not more important, but the important things for teaching English language are persuasion, negotiation, storytelling, role play, and she was counting these things. These are more important, and she was getting the poll with the international students. So what are your point of view on these things for teaching English in the students who they have not the native language of English for them?
Okay. Yes, I absolutely understand. But today it is really difficult to attract people's attention, like to draw people's attention at the same time to sustain. Absolutely agree with the part that yes, storytelling is one of the greatest ways how we can sustain students' interest. So yeah, I absolutely support the teacher's opinion that yeah, if once students become attracted to storytelling, once they start enjoying reading stories, telling stories, language learning will become really easy. I use also in my teaching, I use a lot of stories as well, and I always say that a story, there is in English, there is a saying that an apple a day keeps a doctor away. So I have motivated to my classes, and I keep saying that a story a day will keep the teacher away. So I repeated to my students that if you don't want to spend time, if you don't want to spend amount of money on private tutoring, so you have to make sure that reading stories is a part of your life, because once you have this habit, your English will always go forward. As I said at the beginning too, language learning is more like lifestyle change. So if you have made this change in your life, so definitely your language learning journey will become more successful.
Okay, thank you very much for your point of view. I am moving toward my next question. That is, and it is the second last question. You give answer to my question is too rapid. Your language answer speed is too much fast as compared to us. So you wind up the interview in very short time, 22 minutes. Okay, my
Okay.
second last question is, how do you balance academic learning with creativity and real world communication? Important, very
Okay.
important.
Yeah, it is really difficult because for every lesson you have to think of something creative to be able to, as I said before, to draw students' attention at the same time to sustain them. And if you're teaching something academic, it's the word academic is already sounds boring for a lot of students of mine. I don't understand why, because yeah, I understand that academic language is should be concise. It shouldn't be emotional. Like I keep saying this a lot, that if you're using academic language, that means that you don't have to use like extreme words, extreme vocabulary, or vocabulary which conveys a lot of emotion. So for this reason, it can be quite challenging to integrate all of them into all lessons. But I will be completely honest with you that I don't think that every lesson teacher should do something creative. All I'm saying that let's say that if you're teaching 5 times a week, if you can integrate a creativity into 2 of these lessons, then 3 more lessons will also be successful, because students today what they long for is diversity, I would say, not repetitive type of structure. Like you come, you answer, and you teach, and then you leave. No, something that if you have, let's say that questions which provoke thinking, or if you have a game, for instance, or if you have, group work, pair work, or you may integrate, for instance, drawing into your classes. So it all comes down teachers' preparedness, I would say. So by integrating creativity, you can also achieve communication, because communication is built, I would say, that on creativity, because students, once students are creative, they have to communicate a lot with each other. So for this reason, integration of all three is important. I absolutely agree. But as I mentioned before, teachers not always have to be so hard on themselves by thinking that I have to be creative today, tomorrow, every lesson I have to be repetitive, I have to be creative. I think that it comes down to the needs of the students as well, I would say, because sometimes there can be some students who want, for instance, who wants to be active. Yeah, it is quite understandable. But at the same time, there is a type of learning: visual, auditory, kinesthetic learners. So I think that it comes down to types of learners as well who dominate in your class: visual learners, auditory learners, kinesthetic learners. Okay, so for this reason, even if you consider all this type of differences, by making or creating activities which will be based on the needs of the learning types, you can make your lessons creative. But as I said, it doesn't have to be every lesson, like from every other lesson, let's say that. So by making every other lessons, by integrating every other lesson something creative, you can already maintain sustain the interest of the students. And I'm sure that a lot of students will definitely refer to your classes as a creative teacher. So this is how I do it. In fact, this is how I'm trying to make a balance. But I wouldn't say that this is easy, but of course, it comes with effort, it comes with experience, and it comes with a lot of discussions. So definitely, you have to discuss a lot of things and a lot of materials with your students as well.
Okay, I must say that you are a very intelligent lady I met virtually. And you are the first lady I met virtually who is too much intelligent, according to my observation, and your experience and your expertise and your point of view, and the way how you deliver your point of view is very impressive. I am impressed.
Oh, thank you
I
very
am
much.
you are a very good person, and I like you,
Oh,
and I
thank you.
want to follow your methods and techniques. Can you share your social media handles or the uh, profiles on which you are delivering your creativity online? Is this possible for us to reach you or your ideas virtually, and if we can learn daily from your side? Is it possible?
No, unfortunately, I haven't started anything on social media where I do share something on a daily basis, but it is a plan. I'm thinking about it. Maybe most probably from next year, I will start a blog where I will be able to share something on a weekly basis at least. Right now, I would say that I'm an active person on social media, but I know that there are really good opportunities out there for teachers to collaborate, to learn from each other, to exchange ideas, to exchange their expertise. So I'm very happy, in fact, to present my country, my teaching philosophy on this show. Thank you very much for the invitation, really. But when it comes to being active on social media, I will say that I have to just promise you, when very soon I will be. I hope, and maybe in that case we will be able to keep in touch more through social media. But right now, I'm asking for your patience. You have to be a little bit patient, because very soon I'm gonna do that.
Please make your YouTube channel too. Okay, I am moving toward my last question, and I love to listen you more. And you are a great teacher, and I am a passionate learner, and I respect a lot of teacher like you, who are a teacher from their heart, their soul, and their brain too. Okay,
Thank you
my
very much.
last question is: what message would you give to teachers who want to grow and inspires others like you have?
Oh, okay. Oh, this is a really difficult question because teaching, as I said before, teaching is not only just a job, or you cannot refer to it as work. It is a mission. It is definitely a mission. My suggestion would be, the first suggestion maybe would be the fact that please think, simply think about it, whether you will be able to make it your life mission or not, whether you will be able to teach from the heart or not, because you have to put your heart, you have to prioritize your students, you have to prioritize your learners. Otherwise, if you have other plans or if you feel like it's not for you, just don't start. Please don't start. Okay, so for this reason, think twice before you embark on this journey. It is a lovely journey. If you love it, you can't imagine how much you can drive from it. Yeah, like your source of happiness. It will definitely become your source of happiness. But if you put your heart into it, if not, simply please do not start it. This is what I can say. Thank you very much.
Okay, I have a request for you. Please, you change the questions, and it is a good thing. And you are comfortable with educational questions, but I want to learn from you, or I want to know about the little bit maybe the landscape, the culture, the food, and the people of your country. But tell me
Okay,
about your country, please.
yeah, sure. Our country is famous for its hospitality because all this is not me saying this. All tourists who come here, they do say that yeah, this is one of the most hospitable country, and it is a safe country at the same time. So you are more than welcome to visit our country whenever you wish, and come and visit our educational centers, schools. It is a small country, yes, I would say that, but we are the people with great hearts. So for this reason, I am sure that you can learn at the same time. You will definitely enjoy. You will have a lot of things to enjoy in our country. Yes, it is a Muslim country, but I'm not saying that. Islam is strictly followed or it is imposed on people. There are a lot of people who are open minded at the same time. And yes, this is what I can say, but I'm sure that you will fall in love with our country if you ever had a chance to visit. So please don't hesitate whenever you want to come.
Thank you very much, Aysel,
Thank you.
for sharing your wonderful journey, your experiences, and your insights with us today, and your passion for teaching, and your love for teaching, and your dedication for your students and learning are truly inspiring for me. And to everyone watching, I hope today's session reminded you that teaching is not just about lessons and exams, it's about touching lives and empowering minds. So keep learning and keep inspiring and keep spreading positivity because education is the light and that connect us all beyond borders and languages. Thank you very much for your time. Okay,
Thank
Allah
you.
Hafiz.
Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you.